And without any further ado, let me play this real quick.
That the police are now so racist towards, in my opinion, I feel that the police are now so racist towards anyone white or English or anyone who even looks like me. I would never dare speak to them to report crime. I would not email them or phone them. I do not trust them not to be racist towards me. And at a residents' meeting on Thursday, I was not able to come here last Thursday because I went to a residents' police meeting. I told the police straight, I will never report crime to you. I will never speak to a police person alone. I do not trust you. You are racist towards the English and white people.
Right, and there's no such thing as white people. These are Edomites, right? But you see, this is their world. How come in your world you feel like you're being brutalized, and it's just one of your people? All the murder, death, kill these Edomites have perpetrated against the Lord's people, because that's what it's about, right? And the rest of the world. And now one or two of your people get put down, and it's the end of the world. And now these Edomites sounding like Jake. They don't have no confidence in the police force. It ain't just this old biddy right here. You got these.
Protesters turning on to unrest. Rush the riot squad in Southampton as public outcry turns to unrest. Protesters turning on police over the death of 18-year-old student Henry Novak, who died not far from here. This police body cam footage igniting the outrage. The video showing the teenager's last minutes alive, arrested after being stabbed 5 times by a stranger.
Has anyone been hurt other than him?
He's took my turban off.
That is his killer, Vikram Digwa, who was last week found guilty of murder and of lying to police that he was the victim of racial abuse.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? I don't think you have, mate.
Instead, Henry is handcuffed as he's dying.
By the moment you are under arrest, that's for assault, so you do not have to say anything, mate.
By then, it was too late.
With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. He told them he had been stabbed.
Digwa was sentenced to a minimum of 21 years in jail for stabbing the teenager with a ceremonial knife after the pair brushed past each other on the street. But the release of this footage is now sparking calls for the officers to face the law.
Saw the new.
An angry crowd rushed the riot squad in Southampton. Novak.
Esau's the new George Floyd, right? This is your kingdom, and you're catching this kind of hell. You got Edomites fighting against their.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakwa Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to mighty Akim, Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kawak coming to you with another lesson. Today's lesson, you saw the video. I think that this is one of the most hypocritical and ironic videos ever, where they literally, and they did that intentionally. They stole the things that were was not the events of what happened to George Floyd, attach it to a white dude, and then think that, oh, they deserve sympathy and shit, when where was the sympathy for George Floyd? All right, you literally had these devils that were making fucking jokes about it. All right, they were literally making jokes about it, and for them to think that they deserve any sort of sympathy is genuinely baffling to me. All right, now Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And even with the brother, he was talking about how they died. One of them died one time, and they want to ignore statistics and shit, all right, in terms of how these devils face less convictions, less arrests, lesser sentencing times in general, and then they want to talk about they only want to talk. They only want to bring up statistics when it fits them. All right. As a matter of fact, there was this one video I was watching. This video. Is this it? Yeah, I was watching this video, and this guy was even talking about that, saying how
right have theories. We on the left say socioeconomic factors can explain them. The right,
he was basically, oh well, I'm not gonna play it, but basically what he was saying was all the stuff that happens, they're okay with using statistic to prove their case, but or to prove them to be some great moral character. But in actuality, those statistics that they're using, I'm not going to keep on going back into it, Slakia, but you can Google it yourself. A lot of the stuff a lot of the statistics, it is based off flawed data and favoritism, as in like, well, number one, white Edomites are so-called white people are less likely to be convicted and less likely to be, or they suffer less harsh sentencing than so-called black people. So that plays a part into it. And then as a result of that, they just say, because so-called black people are over-policed, then they say, oh, well, look, they're committing all these crimes, this, and the third, and whatever, when a lot of the times, they don't even know. I don't even think that they realize how many people are arrested for crimes that they didn't even commit. I don't even know. Let me see something. Hold on. How many people are fuck? I forgot what I asked. It was are in jail for crimes they did not commit. It says they're saying studies show that between 4 to 6% of people. Okay, I don't know about that. I feel like that's definitely wrong. But of course, that in and of itself is not really a great thing. So I'll take the blame on that. That was my fault for looking that up. But it's still, at the same time, it's still good to search up that information just to get a general idea on where they're at. So yes, it actually was a good thing to do. So basically, the thing about that is that it demonstrates that Esau knows that they are intentionally arresting people that don't deserve it, and they are destroying not just, well, yes, primarily our people. All right, and then when it happens to them one time, then that's when they want to talk about all this stuff. Now that's when they want to use all the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter type shit or whatever, or White Lives Matter type shit in their stuff, when again, like, they just completely disregard what happened. And the funny thing about this is that oftentimes what they end up doing is they just end up making laws that favor them, as if it is a widespread problem, which again, this is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. They're the ones that are putting out the evil, they're the ones putting out the wickedness, but yet they're expecting us to just accept everything as if it's fine, as if it's normal or whatever, when they are the ones that are perpetuating evil and wickedness, not just on our people but on their people as well. All right, Deuteronomy 1 verse 17: ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great, that ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Yahawah's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me and I will hear it. Basically, when we're dealing with stuff, you're not supposed to be respecting persons. You're supposed to be able to hear. That's the thing, because so-called black people complain about the whole George Floyd thing and the widespread problem of black oppression. They don't care about that. They're just gonna go along with whatever they want to do and still oppress us. But then when it happens to them, but in a smaller scale, all right, then they say, oh my God, this is such a big, terrible thing. As a matter of fact, wasn't that the thing that happened with the crack epidemic, where with they didn't care that black people were on crack, but when white people started suffering the effects of it, then that's when they said, okay, well, we got to stop this, we got to fix this, or whatever. And then even taking it a step further, that was also the thing with abortions, where yes, a lot of so-called black women were getting abortions, but they also noticed that so-called white women are also getting a lot of abortions and was fucking up their birth rate. So as a result of that, they banned that as a result of it, not because of what so-called black women were doing, but because of what so-called white women were doing, which once again, that's where they set these laws up, all right, in order to in an attempt to preserve their lives. But of course, you know, they are still going to destroy us, or find ways to destroy us while. Oh, as a matter of fact, this actually fits perfectly. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. What happens is that the Lord is YAHAWAH is slowly translating these curses from us to our enemies, where, you know, first it was a crack epidemic, these drugs and stuff like that, abortions, and many more issues and problems that we face. Apparently it's like seemingly we might be the primary ones facing it, but apparently a lot of these people, a lot of these Edomites are going through the exact same thing. They're basically copying Jake, and as a result of them copying Jake, they are suffering as a result of it too. All the problems, all the traps and snares that Esau sets up for us, his people are falling for those exact same snares. Please. No, I don't want that. It was snares. Bear with me one moment. I need to. Is it this? Okay, here. Psalm chapter 141 verse 9. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, whilst that I withal escape. Basically, yes, Jake is suffering as a result of the snares, but slowly but surely, YAHAWASHI is making it so that the wicked, or more specifically Esau, Edom, is suffering as a result of those exact same snares that he set up for us. But now he's dealing with them. Now he has to face it. Now he is the victim of it. And then that's when they say, okay, well, now we have to fix it. Now we have to do this. Now we have to do that, or whatever, and stuff like that. All right. Now, Zechariah chapter 7 verse 9, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion every man to his brother. And Slaki, this is the thing. These nations, America claims to be, or Babylon, let me say that, Babylon claims to be a Christian state, or a God-fearing state, or not state, but country or whatever, and yet they just completely go against everything. We obviously know that, but it's like no one else has the brain processing to acknowledge that they are literal hypocrites, to claim to say we're God-fearing nation, or whatever. We want this, that, and the third. We do good when they've done nothing but evil unto us, and more. It's not even. It doesn't even just stop at us. Verse 10, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Basically, they don't these when given the opportunity to do the right thing, Esau will absolutely never do the right thing. He is predisposed to being a fucking devil. All right, and we see that with literally everything. Look at how many years Esau has had to do the right thing, to stop his evil ass oppression, but he just never does. He keeps on finding more and new laws to make. All right, to hell, but even with ICE, that was beyond evil. That was extremely wicked to be doing stuff like that, to send people off to go oppress people. Like it's unbelievable. And then all the ending results of that is terrible. Luke 6 verse 42, either how canst thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to pull out the mote that is in thy brother's eye. So thing here is they're extreme hypocrites to have any type of complaint about what we're doing, yet yet Slocky, I'm freaking multitasking. As I was saying, he's an extreme hypocrite to be saying all these different things and have all these different expectations for us, while at the same time he's doing worse. He's objectively doing worse, and he can get away with it, but not us. Now let's also get this. We're talking about getting away with stuff. Psalms 73 verse 4-5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. And the thing here is that because Esau is just a superpower in terms of like the biggest military might, they can do stuff, and if they do something wrong, if they break the law, who's going to stop them? Because they're the ones that primarily enforce the stuff. All right, so they basically don't enforce the same laws on themselves compared to other people. Job 4:8, even as I've seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And over here, Galatians 6 verse 7, be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And basically the thing here is that Esau thinks that he can get away with doing whatever he wants, and when in reality, YAHAWASHI, he deals in judgment, and he will judge the wicked. So with that, praise this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Rakwadash, double honor to the elders, apostles, great most on about Shalom.